To me, DayZ is like a pretty complicated relationship. You want to love it, you want to be with it, and you also sometimes just want to kiss it. But it's just complicated, and you just can't do all of those things the entire time. Currently, the game has a lot of bugs in it. The main issues being frame drops and inconsistent frame rates. A good example of this would be if you're in the middle of nowhere looking at the ground. You may get over 100 frames, but as soon as you get closer to a city or populated area, the frames drop significantly, even below 20 frames per second on most PCs. I have also experienced items that won't be picked up from the ground, more times than I probably should have. So you have an AK and find a mag for it with bullets, but no, it can't be picked up. This is something that's just annoying and takes a lot from the joy of playing DayZ. The game is still in alpha though, so I can't blame it too much because of the bugs, as alpha is all about adding stuff to the game. The game has also been in early access for 2 years now, and I have seen a lot of people complaining about this like, "Oh, the game is never going to be finished and Dean Hall scammed us all, it's been 2 years and no progress." And I do get where those people are coming from, but I think it's normal for an indie game of this scale to last this long to make. And even if they need another 2 years to complete the game, I'm not going to be mad about it, because I get that there's a lot of work involved in a project like DayZ. So now, as I've gotten some of the negative things off my chest, I believe it's the time to say something I enjoy about the game. When a lot of us, including me, saw the beauty of DayZ for the first time, we wanted to play it immediately. It was the perfect game. Everyone loves zombies, and everyone loves open world games, and everyone loves the freedom of a game like DayZ. With everyone, I don't really mean everyone, but you get the deal. What I think DayZ is pretty good at is the combat with firearms. The only exception being close quarters combat, but I will get into this in a bit. DayZ goes for realism, and it feels realistic firing the guns in DayZ, which sounds a bit weird considering it's a game, but yeah. On some of the really powerful guns, the recoil is pretty great, which makes it realistic and not just like on some FPS games where they have lowered the recoil on purpose to make it more enjoyable to use. This makes it so you have to be careful about your shots, because in DayZ, every bullet counts. I also love how the gun sounds are pretty loud compared to some of the other sounds in the game. If you're ever just sneaking around behind of a supermarket to find some loot, and suddenly just hear a big BOOM go off right by your head, then you know it's on. And I've experienced that you can also jump sometimes because of that, and when you're in gunfights, you can actually feel your heart pumping and actually being scared of dying. So you're just waiting in your corner or wherever you are for your attacker to come by so you can headshot him. And when you're the one that gets out alive, then it feels so good and rewarding, especially after you got the dude's gear. Of course, after you play the game for a bit longer, this won't be as intense as I described it, but many people, including me, have experienced this in the days of being a Bambi, and it was just awesome. But the close quarters combat is, in my opinion, pretty horrible, and it feels very clunky. You run around the player you want to kill, and the other player does the same as well with you. And while you're doing that, you're trying to shoot each other, and it just doesn't work. And after you're trying to kill each other for 5 minutes, you finally pull out your melee weapons and try bashing each other to death. But another really cool thing about DayZ is role-playing. You can be a bandit, the hero that saves people from the bandits, or you can just be whatever kind of survivor you'd like to be. And I have played as both a hero and a bandit before, and both are actually pretty satisfying to play as. It's a great feeling when you come across a survivor and make him or her drop the gun, just to handcuff them and take their shit while you're feeding them with rotten oranges. Or when you see someone being held hostage and then you wreck the bandit and help the hostage and get some love afterwards. Honestly, this isn't too common in DayZ anymore, sadly, but if you play on a proper RP or roleplay servers, then you can experience this most of the time if you really want to. I would personally recommend DayZRP.com, and I will provide a link in the description if you're interested. What I think should be done while the game is still in alpha is to have bicycles added in ASAP. The map is huge and vehicles and the parts they need aren't too common. To have bicycles be a common thing in DayZ would be so much better and also make life just a little bit easier. I honestly don't know why they haven't been added to the game yet. So if any of you developers ever see this video, then here's the idea. You're welcome. But do I think DayZ Standalone is worth a buy? I think this is a bit difficult to answer. You're buying an uncompleted product, but it's going to be completed eventually. So that would be mostly up to you, and also it's very subjective, especially because it's DayZ. But if you know you're going to buy it, and you know you're going to buy it when it gets finished, then do it now because it will get more expensive. If you don't like the entire game and concept of DayZ, then I would not recommend buying it, which is kind of self-explanatory. If you're aware of the flaws, but still find the game fascinating and you want to play it, then go for it. You will probably get even more out of the game than what you originally paid for the game. Thanks for watching though, and if you found this video helpful, then please drop a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe.